Welcome to the Taina Show. Welcome back. It's your girl Taina. Shalom, everybody. So today I wanted to talk about a topic that I hold near to me, and a topic that I had to learn myself, through my journey of my faith and life in general. And today I'm going to talk about boundaries, and I'm going to talk about how important they are and how everyone needs boundaries. And I'm gonna talk about how there's people that try to break your boundaries, and if you are a person that does break people's boundaries, I suggest that you listen to this video as well. This is for the people that are on the other side, that people try to break your boundaries, and this is for the people as well that try to break people's boundaries. And some people don't realize that they are being used, and some people don't realize that they are breaking other people's boundaries, So I'm coming in this video with love, and I'm just trying to spread awareness and for people to understand themselves and their boundaries and how important they are, because your boundaries are very important. And people make boundaries for a lot of reasons. Some people make boundaries to protect themselves. Some people have gone through things from their past that they feel like, man, I'm never going to go through that again, and I never want to experience what I just went through with whatever the experience was. Some people make boundaries from what they have seen other people go through. Some people have seen other people go through some terrible things to where they feel like, I don't want to go through what that person went through, so I'm going to protect myself so that won't happen to me, right? And some people make boundaries because somebody traumatized them, and they don't want to go through that trauma again. And boundaries are a form of protection for someone, and it's a form of respect for someone's self, okay? And we're going to speak about that today. And it's very important to make a boundary for yourself so you can protect yourself. I want you to think to yourself, when you make a boundary and you let someone close to you and you tell this person, hey, I don't want to do this, I don't feel comfortable doing this, these are my boundaries, and this person tries to come, hold on for a second, and this person tries to lower your boundaries, you have to have discernment. And you have to think to yourself, why is this person trying to make me lower my boundaries? Okay, you gotta think to yourself that, right? And you gotta also think, if this person starts to beg you to lower this boundary or to remove this boundary, you gotta think to yourself, why is this person begging? Why is this person begging to make me do something that I don't want to do? You told this person that I do not want to do this, I don't feel comfortable, it's against my morals, or whatever the case may be. You told this person this, so why are they trying to make you do this thing? Okay, if a person tries to lower your boundary, you got to understand that they don't respect your boundary. They don't respect that what you're trying to not do. You got to also understand that they're not living by that boundary. Okay, they don't understand why you made that boundary for yourself. And if somebody's trying to lower that and trying to make you do something that you don't want to do, they don't live by that rule for themselves, and they don't care. Okay, this person does not care about your boundary. They don't care that you choose to do this for yourself. They're thinking, you got to understand that somebody that's trying to lower your boundary, they're doing something for their own selfish reason, right? They're doing this for their own selfish reason. Okay, this person is selfish. Okay, they want you to lower your boundary or to remove your boundaries that you made for yourself for themselves. Okay, and then some people want to see as well, like, how weak you are, how much control they have over you. They want to see how much you love God. Like, let's say you you have a boundary where, hey, I don't want to do this type of sin, right? It could be smoking, it can be a sexual thing, whatever the case may be. Somebody would try to see, and you're saying, hey, I don't want to do that because, you know, my faith in God, and or whatever the case may be. And somebody may look at that and be like, okay, I'm gonna try to bend this boundary of hers or his to see how much he loved God. You must not love God that much if you were willing to let me make you do this. You get what I'm saying? And some people, like I said, they want to bend your boundaries for their own selfish reasons. It could be for a fleshly reason, like maybe they're you have a boundary that you don't want to do a sexual thing, but they do it, so they're trying to make you do that for their own selfish reasons, for their own fleshly. They want to feed their flesh. You know, they see that you're not trying to feed your flesh, but they want to feed their flesh because they don't live by that boundary that you live by, and they're thinking about themselves. You get what I'm saying? They're thinking about, how can I make this person do this so I can be happy, so I can feed my flesh, so I can get what I want out of this situation. I don't care that you're following this. I want to get myself happy. I want to, you know. And yeah, and some people just don't know that they're being used. Some people don't know that they're being used by the enemy to do this to people. So you have to be very careful when it comes to your boundaries, because some people want to see how much of a hold they have on you. Like, dang, she let me or he let me do all this. Like, shoot, I want to see what else they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I want to see if I could bend it more. I want to see, you know, you got to be very careful, you know, when it comes to your boundaries. They're very important, okay? Don't ever break your boundary for anybody. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, sister, brother, family, your closest friend, your closest cousin, your boyfriend, your I don't care who it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how fine the dude is, how fine the girl is. I don't care how much money they have. I don't care about none of that. You gotta look out for yourself, and you gotta love God more than anything, okay? Because when you do something that's against your boundaries and then you sin, you get what I'm saying, that's gonna affect you. That's gonna affect yourself at the end of the day. You try to make this person happy, but what about you? Now you're upset, now you're crying, you get what I'm saying, because you broke something that you was supposed to stand on. You get what I'm saying? You broke something that you was supposed to stand on. How do you think will God feel that you cheat, you know, that you went against him? You know, he probably crying worse than you. You know what I'm saying? He more hurt than you. And I've realized too, like, when we do something against God for somebody else, we're cheating on God. I realize that now. You know, when you do something against a God for somebody else, you're cheating on God. It's like you cheated on him. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine if somebody cheated on you, how would you feel? You know what I'm saying? And now you cheated on God, you sinned, you did something horrible for just to make somebody else happy. How do you think God feel about that? You know what I'm saying? So I think I understand that now, and I think about that now, and I just wanted to talk about boundaries and how important they are. You stick to that, because that is a part of you, and that means you're sticking to yourself, okay? You're sticking to the Most High as well. So having boundaries is very important, okay? And stick to that. Do not, please y'all, do not break your boundaries for nobody. And I wanted to bring up something, okay? Hold it. Okay, and for my people, like I said, for the people that have done this, have tried to break somebody's boundaries, have tried to make somebody do something that they didn't want to do, or that was sinful, or that was against God or against themselves, you know, I would say evaluate yourself, right? Try to think, like, why did I try to make this person do this? Really just think, like, really think, and, you know, understand, you know, when you make somebody do something like that they didn't want to do, try to understand how they feel. That, you know, try to understand how they feel, you know, that they did something that they didn't want to do, you know, and try to understand where they coming from. You feel me? And I want you to talk to God about it, you know, like, God, I don't know why I made that person do that, you know, and I want you to repent as well. Be take accountability for your actions and understand and try to understand where that person was coming from and why they made that boundary. Okay, so it's okay, you know, we all make mistakes, we all do things that we don't understand that we do, we all are still growing, you know what I'm saying? But I just want you to pray and talk to the Most High and try to evaluate yourself of why you did something like that, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, repent and really take accountability and really feel that, you know, feel that guilt and like, dang, I did that and I regret it, you know what I'm saying? That's part of repenting. You want to turn away from doing something, you want to stop doing something. Hold on, it's a helicopter. Okay, you know, because everything comes back onto you, right? And you're hurting your own self by trying to make somebody do something that they don't want to do, you know what I'm saying? And you're playing with God at the same time. Like, you making this person do something, you making this person sin, you know, but this all of this come back on you, because now you got sin on your own hands, you know what I'm saying? This person's sin and your sin on your own hands. And for my children of God, you know, the people that believe in God and everybody else that's watching, you have to have discernment. You have to have discernment. You have to ask God for discernment. And my little sister, she gave me some good, righteous advice, right? She told me, she was like, when somebody's trying to make you do something that you don't want to do, that is sinful, right? You got to ask God at that moment, you know, please, Heavenly Father, fight this battle for me because I cannot fight it myself, you know? And some of us are people pleasers, you know. I had a problem with that, of being a people pleaser, you know. Oh, I want to make this person happy, I don't want this person to think that I'm a lame, or whatever the case may be, you know. And you have to be careful with that, because are we here to please people, or are we here to please God? You know what I'm saying? But my sister gave me some great advice on that. She said, when you are in a moment, and sometimes we be in the moment, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we be in the moment, but we got to check ourselves, you feel me? We got to check ourselves. She was like, when you're in the moment, you know, you have to think about God, and you have to be like, God, please fight this battle for me because I cannot fight it myself, you know. And that's with anything. That's with anything. But she gave a great advice to me about that, because, you know, sometimes, like, you could be on your journey with God, and, you know, the devil, he would try to use things to make you sin yourself. And when he sees that he cannot make you sin yourself, or he can't throw you off your path by yourself, he gonna use other people around you. He gonna use other people around you. He could use your family, he could use your friends, he could use your best friend, he could use that guy that you had a crush on that you really liked. Like, he will use people around you. And like I said, some people are easy to be used by the devil, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't have no faith system, some people don't have a relationship with God, so it's easy for people to get used by the enemy. But we as children of God, you know, and of people that's trying to be children of God, or people, you know, you got to ask God for discernment. And when the red flags are there, you got to see it, you know, and you got to see that it's there. Because sometimes, I'll speak for myself too, sometimes there'll be red flags that I see with people, or with someone that I am intrigued with, or whatever the case may be. I would see the red flags, and sometimes I will ignore it. Like, I will literally see that it's there, and I will ignore it because, you know, I grew feelings for this person, or I really like this person, or they seem really cool, you know. But you should not ignore that. You should ignore that. You shouldn't ignore that, because, you know, God is telling you something about that person, and you have to keep that in mind, right? And you got to be very careful around that person. And you also have to be very careful of a person that does not believe in God, that doesn't have a foundation in the Most High or Christ. You know, you got to be careful around people like that, or people that are different religions. You know, you just got to be careful around people, period. And people can say they believe in God and believe in Yeshua and still do things that aren't of him, if that makes sense. You know them by your fruit. You know them by their fruits, okay? It says it in the Bible. You know a person by their fruits, right? So if somebody doesn't have good fruits, they saying they believe in God, I believe in Jesus, and their fruits are bad, that tells you about them. That tells you that they're not that serious about God, or they're not trying to be, you know. A person shows themselves eventually. A person cannot fake too long, and especially if you are a child of God, you will have discernment and you will understand that if somebody's not right, you know. But you cannot ignore them signs, because eventually you're going to keep seeing red flags, and it's going to blow up in your face. It's going to blow up in your face, y'all. I'm telling you I'm telling you, it's gonna blow up in your face, and the enemy is gonna do anything to try to throw you off your path. He's gonna try to do anything, use anybody to throw you off your path, you know. And you have to check yourself. Okay, so I can't do a video without talking about biblically, you know, how boundaries are so important, right? So I wanted to bring up a person in the Bible. His name was Samson, and a lot of y'all probably are familiar with the story of Samson. Samson and Delilah. I think I'm saying her name right. And Samson was chosen by the Most High before he was even born. You know, the Most High he already knows who we are even before we even are in the womb. You feel me? So Samson was chosen by the Most High, and he was special, and he already was destined for greatness, right? And you know, God gave him a lot of power within his hair, right? Within his beautiful hair, right? Gave him power within his long hair. And you know, Samson had trouble when it came to women. You know, he loved women, and that's a lot, and that can be a lot of our downfall, right? And I'm talking to women and men, okay? Because men, your downfall can be women. You know, you got to have discernment, because a lot of women don't mean well for you, and women too. A lot of men don't mean well. So he had an issue. He had a problem with, you know, when he saw a beautiful woman, he wanted her. You know what I'm saying? And we have to be very careful. Just because somebody is beautiful, just because somebody's very attractive, don't mean they're good within their heart and who they are, right? And you know, he saw Delilah, and he wanted her. You know what I'm saying? She was a beautiful woman, but she was out to do something really bad to him, okay? And with Delilah, I want y'all to read the story about Samson and about Delilah, okay? And I just talked about boundaries, and you got to be careful how somebody begs you to do something you don't want to do, and that makes you sin against God. And with Delilah, she was asking Samson, like, hey, where did you get all this power from? Like, what makes you so strong? I want to know, right? And he didn't want to give her that information. So Delilah, she kept begging him. She kept begging this man to tell her, you know, what his strength lies in, how he's so strong. And the whole time, I told y'all, right? I told y'all, if somebody begs you for something, if somebody's trying to take away your boundary that you made for yourself, you know, you gotta think, why are they doing this? Like I said, people do things for selfish reasons most of the time. They're doing it for themselves. And Delilah, she had a selfish reason to know why Samson was strong. She was trying to trap him. She was trying to get him killed. She was trying to take away his strength the whole time. But Samson did not know that. So it says in the Bible that she vexed him, like begged him to death, to the point where he just was like, all right, I'll lower my boundary. Okay, I'm gonna let you take my boundary away. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you what you want to know. And that took away his eyes. that took away his trust within women, like just off of that, right? So hold on, I'm gonna bring out my Bible, okay? I got a little I suggest people that carry around their Bibles, you know. I just started doing this, by the way. So I suggest men and women to read about Samson, okay? Because it just reminds me how important boundaries are, and it reminds me how we have to follow God, because if we got to put God first in everything in all of our lives, because when you lower that boundary for someone, it's kind of like you're putting that person over God. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think of it. It's like me allowing this man, or you can be a man, you allowing this woman to make you do something that you told them that you don't want to do, or that you don't do no more, and they're trying to make you do it. You feel me? It just makes you think, like, and then you do it, it's like, dang, I let this person make me fall. And who are they? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is Delilah talking to Samson, because she wanted to know so bad how he got his strength. And the whole time she got some dudes in the back waiting to like kill this man, take his whatever his strength is. They was waiting to take it away, okay? And he didn't know. Samson did not know what was going on. He just think he chilling with a beautiful woman that he really loved, that he really liked, thought was beautiful. He thinking everything fine, and she begging him about this boundary that he didn't want to give away. She's begging him. She's like vexing him to death, you know. And the whole time, like I said, she got some dudes in the back ready to like get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? Just so she can try to lower his boundary, right? So this is Judges 16 through 15, right? This is Delilah talking to Samson. She said, then she said to him, how can you say I love you? How can you say I love you when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times and have not told me where your great strength lies, right? Now she's trying to like manipulate him, right? You said you loved me. How can you say you love me and you're not telling me this? She don't love this man. She's using the L word to manipulate this man, to make him lower his boundary, right? The whole time she the enemy. So she using the L word, y'all. And you got to be careful with that, y'all. Y'all got to be careful when somebody says I love you and use these sweet words. And I got another scripture for that too. Anyway, she said you have mocked me these 3 times and have not told me where your great strength lies. And it came to pass when she pestered him daily, she kept on begging. Here go that begging word. She pestered him daily with her words, y'all, and pressed him, right? So she's begging this man to tell her where his strength lies. She's begging this man to lower his boundaries, okay? So that his soul was vexed to death. His soul, y'all, his soul was vexed to death. He had enough. He was like, all right, I'll do it. I'm gonna tell you what you want to know. Okay, his soul was vexed to death. So that his soul was vexed to death, that he told her all his heart. He gave away his boundary and said to her, no razor has ever come upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I am shaven, then my strength will leave me and I shall become weak, y'all, and be like any other man. All right, so his soul got vexed to death. He finally told her, he told her, hey, if you cut my hair, you know, God chose me. He told her that he's chosen by God, okay? And he told her he got his strength from God. And he said, if I cut my hair, I'm gonna be like every other dude. I'm gonna be weak, okay? I'm gonna be weak if I do this, if I shave my head. So he let his boundary down. He told her where his weakness lies. He told her that he was chosen by God, and he told her if he do this thing, he's going to be weak. He's going to be like no other man. So she took this. Hold on, I'm going to keep going. When Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up once more, for he has told me all his heart. Okay. He has told me all his heart. So the Lord of the Philistines came up to her and brought her the money in their land. And then she lured him to sleep. She lured Samson to sleep on her knees and called for a man and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head. So she made this man sleep, right? She lured him to sleep and she got these men to shave off his locks. Trapped him, bro. Trapped him. Oh my God. This is what happens when you lower your boundaries for someone. They do it for selfish reasons. Now this man getting his hair shaved off. He getting all his beautiful 7 locks shaved off. Then she began to torment him, and his strength left him. This is a woman that used the L word, y'all. This is the woman that said, I love you to him, and he said he loved her. She used the L word. She manipulated this man to lower his boundaries. And look what's happening to him. Look what's happening to him. You know what I'm saying? And let me keep going. And she said, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. So he awoke from his sleep and said, I will go out as before at other times and shake myself free. But he did not know that the Lord had departed from him. Now since he has his locks shaved off, right? So it's like when we sin, right? When we lower our boundary to sin and when we do something for somebody, we go against God to please someone. You know, sometimes God will let that person do whatever after to you. You know, that person could leave you. That person could do some horrible stuff now because you just sinned against God. Now you hurt God, and now he's letting the enemy have you. You know what I'm saying? And now you're hurt because you lower this boundary for this person. You put this person over God. You know what I'm saying? Because now we hurt him. Okay? Now, I'm going to keep going with the scripture, right? Then the Philistines took him. They took Samson, right? The Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza. They bound him with bronze fetters, and he became a grinder in the prison. However, the hair of his head began to grow again, and it had been shaven. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. So I suggest y'all to read the story of Samson, because it just reminded me, like, you see how all those things happened to him, happened to Samson after he after he lowered his boundaries. You see what happened. And you see, like I said, Delilah, she kept begging him to lower his boundaries. And then after he let her take control and let her know everything that he wasn't supposed to let her know, you see how she treated him after. And now God just like, all right, since you let this woman do this, I'm gonna let her have you, and I'm gonna let them do whatever. They goshed his eyes out, y'all. They took out his eyes just off of lowering his boundaries, just off of trusting a woman, just off of trusting somebody. And this will go for women too, trusting a man. You feel me? Now, boundaries are so important. You have to really understand why somebody wants you to do something that you don't want to do. You have to be strong within the Most High to not let somebody have that much control over you and make you do something that is wrong, right? And we got to remember, I don't want to do this to God, and I don't want to do this to myself, okay? You got to put yourself first over those people, and you got to put God first of all, first over them and you, okay? Because I don't want to hurt God. You know, I care about my father. I love my father. And you got to be thinking like, man, I love my father more than you. So I'm going to obey my father over you. Because who are you? I love you as a brother and sister in Christ, but you're not over my father, for where I'm going to jeopardize my relationship and my flesh for you. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to like read the the story of Samson, please, because your boundaries are very important, y'all. And your walk with God, the Most High Yah, your walk with God is very important. Your walk with Yeshua is very important, and you shouldn't allow someone to mess that up. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And as a person who breaks boundaries, you gotta evaluate yourself. If you're doing stuff like this to people, evaluate yourself and understand, like, why am I doing this? Why am I making somebody do this? And and also the person that has boundaries, you got to understand, does this person really love me? Why would a person that loves me want me to break my boundaries? Why would a person that this person loves me so much, they should respect me. They should respect my boundaries that I made for myself. They should respect my journey that I have with God. So that's letting me know that they don't respect that. You know what I'm saying? If they want me to break it. So yeah, y'all, please read the book of Samson. Read about Samson and what happened to him after he lowered his boundaries, and think about it. I want y'all to always pray to the Most High with any situation that happens, because situations are going to happen. Situations are going to come up, and we cannot do nothing without God. We're still we can't. We sometimes when it comes to believers, we think we can, you know, do things ourselves. We think, oh yeah, I'm so grounded with God, like I know I'm not gonna fall into this, I know I'm not gonna fall into that, but things happen. You get what I'm saying? And we need God, because this walk is not easy. It's not easy, y'all. We need God. We need Yeshua, because we can't do things by ourselves. We're still people. We're still people, and you know, things happen, you know what I'm saying? And nobody's perfect. So you gotta ask God, like, you know, help me with this, help me to fight against this, you know, and ask God for discernment as well. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to come with that topic today, and how important boundaries are. Boundaries are very important. Don't let nobody break your boundaries. I'm gonna say this again, y'all, stand on your boundaries. I'm telling you, stand on your boundaries, stand on it. And remember to put the Most High first overall, over people. I don't care what this person, who this person is. I don't care how attractive. I don't care how much money they got. I don't care how y'all could have been cool for years. I don't care. Anybody is able to get used, okay, by the enemy, especially if they don't have a strong relationship with God. Okay, so please be very careful out here, y'all, and stand true and stand firm on your boundaries and your walk with God. All right, so until the next video, I see y'all. Shalom and peace.